From the studios of Media Training Worldwide, this is Inside Communications, and I'm your host, Mike Bako. Have you ever wondered what it takes to stay at the top of your game as a luxury brand manager? Well, today we go inside with just such a person. Sarah Evans from J Public Relations joins us today on Inside Communications. Not a lot of firms stick with just one topic, but your firm, J Public Relations, sticks with just hospitality and lifestyle clients. Why is that?
You know, I think now more than ever, there's value in being a specialist. There's so much noise out there today, and to really know something and specialize in it, me personally, I think that you can even do a better job for your clients. You can't be an expert in everything. And for us, hospitality and lifestyle resonate for us personally and professionally. I know that most people at our agency have actually worked in the hospitality industry at some point prior to joining J Public Relations. So it really adds that value that they can know about the industry on the back end, and it really helps to, place our clients in the media, but then also really drive revenue and be a part of that business end.
As we see the economy take its dips and turns and wind its way around right now, things not going so well, are your clients asking you for different things as the economy changes, considering that they are dependent on people using their disposable income to come visit them?
Of course, travel is one of the industries, as we all know, that plummeted more significantly, than anything around 2008. I have to say it has come back. However, there's so many more mediums now that we use as a firm and just as travelers to really, for our clients, and then also just to book vacations or decide where we're going. So we're able to use social media. We go right to the client. We're working with the media still, of course, but now we have so many opportunities to cut out the media and go right to the source.
And I'm sure the media doesn't like that, but I'm sure bloggers and different social media advocates and people that use the different travel advisor sites love the fact that you're able to reach out right to them.
No, of course, and we've seen media, so many of our great media contacts have built brands for themselves through social media, or sites such as JetSetter, for example. Now media are part of JetSetter, and they're planning trips for clients. So, we might be speaking with a journalist about a trip to Kenya, for example, and they're helping a client at JetSetter plan that. So they might not be writing about it for a particular magazine, but now it's going right to the source.
So now everything is sort of coming together is your life easier now, or is it tougher? Because before you had the four major media outlets, you had some travel magazines and some of the national publications, but now it seems like there's so many different places that you could get to. Is that harder in a sense?
Our life is definitely more complex, I will say, without a doubt. However, I think what we do has become more fun, in my opinion. I've always been very passionate about public relations, but sending out that press release and making a phone call to follow up is so 10 plus years ago, in my opinion. We have all these opportunities to be creative. We're partnering with brands through, we have 12,000 plus followers on Twitter alone at J Public Relations. We're using that to connect right to clients or influencers. We're sending celebrities to places to tweet, and we're noticing that our clients are getting a huge spike in web traffic. We're able to see these things, whereas in the past we weren't able to.
You mentioned your clients. A lot of your clients are tried and true name brand clients, the hotels and lifestyle places that people certainly know about, but they're not the new and the hip. How do you integrate them into the social media realm and sphere when there's always a new hotel opening, there's always a new place to go? How do you get these brands that have been around for a while to get into the mindset of people?
No, of course, we definitely have a mix of the brand new, something like Ani Villas that just opened in Anguilla, mixed with something like the U.S. Grant in San Diego, which just turned 100 this past year. However, it's so interesting from our perspective because the media, as you said, always wants something new. But what we're able to do is put a new spin on things. We're creating trends now. How is the U.S. grant able to be part of a trend that, is relevant today, but that also tells that story. Speaking of the U.S. grant turning 100 last year, we actually put together a program called What's Your Story campaign. And it was a dedicated website that we set up where guests from the past, 5+ decades would go in and write about their story at the U.S. grant. We received letters from 1940, people who met at the U.S. grant who are celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary today, and then using social media and traditional media outlets were able to publicize it, and it was really huge for the hotel. So it's taking those sorts of things. Or we sent a celebrity to the White Barn Inn in Kennebunkport, Maine, a hotel that is very famous, but it's not new, and tweeting about their experience, and the response was overwhelming. So it's taking what's new today and coupling it with what's been so fantastic for so many years.
Certainly taking a celebrity and integrating them with a client of yours is new, and we certainly couldn't do that before Twitter. Is there any danger and some backlash to that?
Oh, of course.
Where a celebrity, you take a Kim Kardashian, let's say, who has plenty of Twitter followers, but everyone pretty much knows that for the most part, she has sponsored tweets and she has different sponsorships that she deals with. How do you deal with that?
For us, it's really finding the right personalities. For a hotel like the White Barn Inn, for example, Kim Kardashian
probably wouldn't work.
Isn't the right fit. And we're typically not paying these people. It's, in our case specifically, clearly there are many cases, as you said, of sponsored tweets, and we know it's happening. But we try to make it much more organic. Oh, would you be interested in going to the White Barn Inn? They've sometimes heard of it, more cases than not, because that's such a famous place in Kennebunkport, Maine. And they'll go up there and just say, can you tweet about your experience? And make it more organic. I think that's very, very important, is to have that authenticity and organic nature, because it's just like an ad in a magazine. We've all, I've been in PR for too long, I skip over them, unfortunately. But the same with the sponsored tweets. You can tell for the most part.
And again, you mentioned that sort of commingling of the celebrity and the brand that they have to fit together. You also mentioned that sending out a press release is so 10 years ago. Certainly everyone's using Twitter now, and you've been telling us all about how you use Twitter, but is there anything else that's coming up that you see as a new trend besides Twitter, besides using social media?
No, of course. And I should clarify when saying with the press release, of course we still use them. Of course they still have value. However, when I first started out in PR 10 years ago, you would fax a press release. Next thing you know, you have a great article was placed from it. That's not happening anymore. It really takes, the press release is useful in some regard. However, there are many other mediums today. So aside from Twitter, I think it's partnerships, and you mentioned the word commingling of brands. So not just celebrities, but taking brands, fashion designers, creating pop-up shops at different hotels or restaurants, food trucks. There's so many different ways where you can go right to the consumer. That, Facebook and Twitter are excellent sources. However, especially we work many times in the very high-end luxury arena. It took a long time for hotels to realize, our clients are paying $1,500 a night to book a room. Are our clients really on Twitter? I don't know. Are they necessarily booking a hotel from Twitter? Not necessarily. So, but if I know that we partner with a fabulous fashion designer, and we're partnering with Diane von Furstenberg, and we're doing some sort of getaway, or you see so many times today that these great brands in New York, especially Physique 57, Soul Cycle, these are doing fitness retreats all over the country. That's a way to have a promotion, but also really go directly to your client.
And it's probably a great way, someone that you mentioned that uses the Soul Cycle and is part of that sort of background probably might not go to a hotel that's 100 years old or that charges $1,500 a night, but it's now on their radar.
Well, in some cases you'd be surprised. The Soul Cycle clientele, just using that brand as an example, it ranges $35 a class. So if you're paying $35 6 times a week for an exercise class, budget might not be an issue for you. However, a lot of these hotels that have been around for a while, they're doing these new exciting things to keep themselves youthful, so to speak. And I think it's constantly evolving and being part of those trends and seeing what's out there, So, if a hotel looks exactly the way it did 30 years ago and hasn't done anything to evolve, who wants to stay there?
Let's take one last look at reaching out to tastemakers. In the sense that travel and leisure is not the only game in town. Condé Nast Travel is not the only game in town anymore. Everyone seems to be writing about their travel experiences, and certainly there are bloggers and tastemakers that are more popular than others. How do you reach out to them in terms of getting them to either see the hotel or be part of some sort of package to write about you?
No, of course, and I think it's just that engagement. But it's really understanding who they are. It's not just sending out a press release. It's really understanding their blog and knowing who they are and saying, you know what, I am a passionate follower of yours. I get it. I understand. Here's how I see us working together. What do you think? It's creating a conversation. It's not one-sided. It's not, here's my information. What are you going to do with it? It's creating that back and forth dialogue. And really, one of the things that hasn't changed in PR over the past several decades is really talking and communicating, and face-to-face communication when it comes down to it is really the best way to make things happen.
Are we losing a little bit of that? You mentioned Twitter and Facebook and certainly the traditional press release, but are people picking up the phone as much now?
No, they're not. However, I'm not a big proponent of picking up the phone to say, hi, I'm calling to follow up on X, Y, Z. However, picking up the phone to say, you know what, I really love what you're writing about. I saw your article in Travel and Leisure last month, and I want to meet you because this is what I do, and this is why we should connect. And use the phone as a medium to engage that way, and then meet someone face to face. Because you know what, I haven't placed a feature article in a very long time without some sort of relationship involved in it and a real understanding of who that person is and vice versa.
Do you find that people coming up through the ranks, you mentioned that you're a 10-year veteran, do you notice that the newcomers into the PR game are a little bit less adept at that because they are tweeting
it's the social
and on
media
Facebook
generation for sure.
And texting?
One of the things we do at J Public Relations, everyone in our office has to go out to lunch with 2 new people each month. Pick 2 people that you want to meet in the industry, go out, and it's a really great way. And at the end of the month, we say, okay, who did you meet with this month? And because we all can't know everyone, again, it goes back to being a specialist. I can't know everyone that's out there. However, if we're working as a collaborative team, it's a way to really make sure that we're engaging on that personal face-to-face level.
Sarah Evans, thanks for engaging with us today on Inside Communications.
Media Training Worldwide has specific systems to teach proper body language, messaging, answer techniques, and soundbite creation. Join a media training workshop to help you prepare for all your media appearances. Learn the basics every good speaker should know and communicate the exact message you want. Media Training Worldwide's presentation training workshop will teach you how to save time by focusing on that which you have total control, your words, messages, and speech. For more information, call 212-764-4955. Media Training Worldwide also offers online interactive media and presentation training courses to help you with all your media and presentation training needs. These courses offer a one-of-a-kind training simulation experience that allows users to record themselves practicing media interviews and speeches. Visit MediaTrainingWorldwide.com for more information. Inside Communications with Mike Bako is brought to you by Pitching Well. Pitching Well is a community for small cap companies and investors. For more information, visit pitchingwell.com.